What is going on, Jet fans? I am Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today is going to be a little bit different for Mock Draft Monday. We've been doing heavy New York Jets mock drafts. Instead, I'm going to do a full first round mock draft for all 32 picks. Excited to get into this one. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. So, all right, let's pull up the share screen here. And without further ado, let's get rocking and rolling. I'm going to select all, enter. Here we go. Okay. No trades in this one. It's just going to be too complicated to do trades right now. Just everyone's going to stick and pick. Are there going to be trades in the first round? More than likely, yes. But this is just more your traditional mock draft. No movement, just sticking and picking. So Bears, what are they going to do? I think Caleb Williams is going to be a Chicago Bear, and they trade Justin Fields for a second and fourth, something like that, a second and a fourth, second and a third, somewhere in that ballpark, somewhere similar to what the Jets actually got for Sam Darnold. So let's do this. Caleb, you are a Chicago Bear, which leaves Drake May to the Washington Commanders. They do not pass up on the quarterback. Here's where things get interesting, in my opinion. Like, this is where the draft is going to start, because I think the first two picks go as like this. I think you're going to get Caleb. I think you're going to get Drake May. Are the New England Patriots going to take a quarterback? Are they going to take Marvin Harrison? In this one, I'm going to give them Jaden Daniels. I think, how do you not go quarterback? You're going to do another year with Mac Jones? I guess it's dependent on where the veterans go, so maybe that's not fair, but I think there's a strong chance the first three picks are going to be quarterbacks in this draft, which the Arizona Cardinals then run up to the board and go, thank you for Marvin Harrison. In this spot, I feel like there's been some debate if this is where Joe Alt is going to go, to the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know if I buy it. I think this is where Brock Bowers is going to go. A unique weapon for Justin Herbert. Sounds like a lot of fun. For the New York Giants, they unfortunately do not get Jaden Daniels in this scenario. I'm sure they would love Jaden. They might end up trading up for him, but Malik Neighbors is a pretty nice consolation prize. There's been some smoke recently about whether or not this is going to be a playmaker. Rome Odunze's there, but I have a really hard time not putting Joe Alt in this spot. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put Joe Alt here. To the Falcons. Now, this could be trade territory, but I buy the J.J. McCarthy in the top 10 rumors. That's not how I feel about J.J. McCarthy. I don't think he is a top 10 quarterback, but quarterbacks get overdrafted every single year. J.J. McCarthy's going to end up being a top 10 pick. Maybe the Jets trade out of pick 10, or Chicago trades out and someone moves up for a quarterback. And Chicago's pretty happy because they get QB1 and they also get a wide receiver to pair with Moore in Rome Odunze. I think that would be the move there. New York Jets, okay. What are they going to do here? Talisi Fuanga's there, Olu Fashanu. I've said this before. I like both those guys a lot. If both are available, I am taking Olu Fashanu because, one, I think he's a better pass protector, and number two, he is a bona fide left tackle where Talisi Fuanga at least is going to have to start his career on the right side. So I'm going to take Fashanu in this spot. But believe me, I would not be upset with Talisi Fuanga as a New York Jet. All right. First, we're going to go in this spot. First defensive player doesn't go until pick 10. I think it's going to be Dallas Turner, edge rusher out of Alabama. He goes to Minnesota. Watch Minnesota as a potential trade up for a quarterback option as well. Denver. Denver's another interesting one. Did they go defensive side of the ball? I think they could. Honestly, I think they could. I'm going to give them Jared Verse out of Florida State on the edge. The Raiders are an interesting one as well. I think they're going to go, they could look for a quarterback too, but they could also use a corner. So I'm going to go Cooper DeJean here. Okay, this one, again, they are a quarterback needy team. They are also an offensive tackle needy team. Talisi Fuaga is going to go off the board here at 14. Colts on the clock at 15. I think I'm not going to go wide receiver here. I think Nate Wiggins is a player that could make sense to Indy at pick 15. For the Seattle Seahawks, I could kind of see them going on the defensive side of things, on the defensive line with their new head coach, Byron Murphy. Kind of like it, man. Kind of like it. I'm going to go Byron Murphy in this spot. To me, this is an obvious selection if I'm Jacksonville. They need to do everything they can to protect Trevor Lawrence. And Jackson Powers Johnson, his rise is going to come to him being a top 20 pick. I think this is absolutely a spot where he can go in this draft. As for the Cincinnati Bengals, they should also go out of their way to do what they can to protect their quarterback. J.C. Latham is going to come off the board here, especially considering that there's a good chance they're going to lose Jonah Williams, so they're going to need a tackle. 19, I think this is where I'm going to send Troy Fontenot to the Rams. A couple reasons why Fontenot over Mims. His versatility. He could play guard. He could play tackle. I like Fontenot a lot. Mims is a little bit of a question mark. His fall is not going to go much longer, though. Hint. Okay, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I feel like they could just load up on defensive backs. They could use an interior player too. Maybe a linebacker. I don't like a linebacker in this spot. Terrion Arnold, I think, makes sense for them. Okay. Offensive line, I think, is an area they can go. Edge rusher is also a sneaky area that they could go. Obviously, they could use a little bit more touch on the edge, depending on Phillips's injury too, right? Like, his recovery might be a part of this process. Could they go with a tackle? Yeah, but I like Latu going there. Philadelphia Eagles, I'm not going to have them take a wide receiver. They could use a defensive back. Quinyon Mitchell, I think, is going to end up being the pick that goes there. A ton of different things that the Houston Texans can do in this spot. I would give a weapon for CJ Stroud. Troy Franklin seems like a nice spot there. Here's where I'm going to have Mims end up going to Dallas. There's a real chance they could lose Tyron Smith, and I think they could replenish that by drafting Mims, who's been he hasn't played a ton in college, but man, did he test well. No surprise there. All right, Green Bay Packers. Oh, am I going to go offensive line? I think I am. I think this is where I'm going to put Tyler Guyton. Barton might have to play on the interior. So here's what we're going to do. Ready? We're going to do this. Guyton goes here. Barton goes to the Bucs. They could play him at either tackle or guard. I think I kind of like Barton at guard. I think that's where I would start him, at least in his career. Interesting. So they had Marvin Harrison go to Arizona at 4. I think they're going to go with a defensive player with the second pick. I'm going to give him Kool-Aid. What a name. What a player. Kool-Aid goes to the Arizona Cardinals. Pick 28, Gabe Davis is a goner. So I think this is where a wide receiver can go. Brian Thomas Jr., next best wide receiver available. He's going to go to the Buffalo Bills at that point. Could see an offensive lineman go. I think they're going to see a defensive player. I think this is where maybe Newton could come off the board to Detroit. Also, look at Zach Frazier's an interesting one. He might go in that spot too. But I'm going to give him the defensive player. It's been a very offensive heavy draft. So why not? Let's mix in the defense a little bit. I think, honestly, this is a trade out spot potentially for the Ravens. But you know who I like going somewhere at the end of the first round? And I think he makes it, even though he's ranked a little bit lower on this PFF sim is Chop Robinson. I'm going to send Chop Robinson. They could use a little bit more depth on the defensive line, the Ravens. So I'm going to put Chop here, although I would look at them as a potential trade back candidate. San Fran. Where do I want to go with San Fran? Could they snap a corner? I guess. I'm going to go offensive line, though. I think Jordan Morgan, one more offensive tackle, sneaks their way in and goes 31. And then last pick, oh my God, Ladd McConkey screams Kansas City Chief. Ladd McConkey, Kansas City Chief, pick 32. That's how I'm going to round it out. So, all right, here we go. Let's take a look at the draft. Will it give me my full results? No, it's not going to give me grades like that. But, okay, let's take a gander here. Caleb, Drake May, Jane Daniels, 3 quarterbacks go. Then some playmakers, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brock Bowers, Malik Neighbors. Alt at 7, McCarthy 8, Adunze, Fashanu. First defensive player at pick 11. You get a few defensive guys in a row, Turner versus Dijon. Fuanga, Wiggins, Murphy. And then on the other side, you got Powers, Johnson, Latham, Fontenot. The run on offensive lineman comes back. Strong offensive line class. Some defensive guys in a row. Then Franklin, Mims, Guyton, Barton. Some more offensive linemen. McKinstry, Thomas, Newton, Chop Robinson, Jordan Morgan, and Lad McConkey to close out the first round. So how'd I do? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you guys next time.